What are you doing? Got me one of these Chinese excavators, power shovels, sit down shovel, whatever you want to call it. Better than a shovel anyway. This is a TPM industrial TPM 16. It's a 1.2 ton, I guess. I think it's pretty similar to the FF models. FF15, I think it is. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch some other videos, and I think I've seen a very similar layout to this, because I ran into the tank problem here where the gas tank's on top of the engine, and you get to using it and it starts to boil. You can make yourself a crab dinner or whatever you want, but I don't like that, so I took the tank off. I was like, well, maybe I could put it somewhere, and that wasn't going to work out, so tank's gone in the scrap pile. So I got this aluminum 1.25 gallon tank off the Jungle, and it come with the brackets. So I went ahead and welded that into the hydraulic tank. Now I think on some of them FMF models, or a model very similar, they have a tank like this steel one, another steel, but it's angled down like that, and it fits underneath that cover. But I can't find a tank, so I got this, and I got it to fit, laid it out right so it'll fit, and you can still get in there, get to it through that door to fuel it up. The only thing I wish it had was a fuel gauge, because it is slightly smaller than the factory tank, the Biggs & Stratton tank, by about maybe half a gallon, so it won't have as long of a run time, but I won't be running it hours and hours, so maybe an hour here, maybe 2 hours there, but that's about it. So I'll just get used to how long it runs for and top it off. So then I got me one of them Chinese fuel pumps, and came with a filter and the hoses and the clamps, and I got a regulator there, because you got to be careful with your pressures. That pump's a 3 to 6, I think, and I got turned down to 2 with that regulator, because if you give it too much pressure, you'll blow the float out of the carb. You don't want to do that. And if you need power, if it's similar to the one you've got, what I found was this wire that runs down from this control all the way down here, and it's these wires here. If I can get it to focus, there we go. So I'm on my jerry rig, that's just to test the pump. But this BR wire is hot to the ignition, so when the ignition switch is on, you get 12 volt, and then this is a negative, this black. So this other one is labeled work light in Chinese, and it's switched. So if you need switch power and you won't mind your lights coming on at the same time, it's wired to this switch here, where you can rewire it and do what you want with it, but that's a switch wire there. Then there's a fan switch, which isn't attached to anything, and because it comes with this hydraulic cooler that has a fan, but that's switched to the ignition. And then it's got a wiper, which I'm not sure why it's got a wiper, because it ain't got no wiper, but I guess they forgot to put the cab on it. As you can see here, I had some weights jerry rigged in here. Pretty ghetto, but I found that when I was trying it out for the first time, it felt a little light in the back. So most of them Georgia girls down here ain't like that. They got a lot of weight in the back, so we got to match them. And I had these weights laying around that my guns don't care about no more, so they're just little ones, just 10s and 13s and some 5s and 3s, and so I tucked them all up in there with some zip ties for now, just to try it. I realize it's ghetto, but it's just a trial and error dry fit for now and see how it works. See if it helps the stability, because I found that it was a little light. It's got a counterweight in it, but it's tucked way up underneath the engine there, so it slides up in there. And to me, it's not as helpful as it could be, because most of the weight's centered instead of being a counterweight. There's only a little bit on the back, and most of it's up underneath the engine. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this skin right here, the tail skin, I'm gonna fill that in with concrete. See if that helps. And again, the weights, I'll either come up with something better or whatever, just seeing how 100 pound or so works. Oh, this air filter. So when they put the motor in, the engine in, excuse me, I keep calling it motor, they put it on a plate. See this plate here? It's got rubber isolators. And when they did that, they didn't think about the damn air filter. And you can't get the damn air filter out without bending it and cracking it and wrestling with it and playing with it and finally get it out. Even with the damn fuel tank out of it, I couldn't get it out. So I ended up taking the muffler out just to get the air filter out of there. And I just wanted to see if I could get it out of there, because it looked like it weren't right to me, and I was right, it weren't right. So I guess I'm going to have to go on to Jungle and see if they got a smaller cover, shorter, and a shorter air filter, and buy that and put that on here, or a shorter air filter and cut this down so it's easier to access, because I'm not playing with that every time. And then came with a little lawnmower sized battery in it, and figured since I'm asking for more power for lights and fuel pump and things like that, and these Briggs & Strattons don't have a fantastic charging system in them, I would put in a big battery so that it holds up to my demand a little bit better, at least. And I put a charger on it. I had this little Chinese charger laying around, seemed to fit the bill, so I strapped that in there temporarily again. Don't mind my mess. I gotta clean it up a little bit and decide what's going where forever. And ran that wire up to plug in so I can just charge it as I go when I'm not using it. Disconnect, and hydraulic shut off, safety switch. It's got this filter. I've seen them on a couple other machines. It's a YL132. So I'm gonna have to go on the Jungle again, or eBay or whatever, and see what they got. Get a couple spares. It's got some wires that, just loose. That's factory duct tape there, electrical tape, excuse me. But it's got switches in the controls, but they don't do nothing. I'm assuming that these are those. One's got a little picture of a horn on the other side. This one here got a little picture of a horn on it, but it don't work. And so I'm assuming it don't have a horn. I don't think I want one. I got two on my head already. So I want to look into these wires and see, but this one says horn, so it doesn't make much sense because it's on the wrong side. So I'm assuming this one's for accessory, and it's not wired, but that's all right. I think the tracks are 46, so it's a little wider than the H12s, H10s, or whatever they are. I don't know about the FFs, of how wide those are. This is 46 inches wide, I think it is. I'll double check. And it's got it doesn't have a swing boom, but it's got the inverted cylinder, so that cylinder's not on the front side. It's on the back, so you don't smash it with rocks and trees and sticks and whatever. Here's the plate. It says 2,200 pounds there, but it says 2,100 pound on the paperwork. So I'm not sure which one it is. It's Chinese math, I guess, but I'm going to change it anyway. I'm adding weight, so I'll see how much it weighs when I'm done. I'll take it to the scale or something. I added some lights, some on the rear too, but they're disconnected right now because I got the plate, all the skins off. So hopefully that engine will run a lot cooler. It does look kind of goofy without that tank on it, but nobody's going to see it when the skins are on, so I don't care. Nobody's going to see it but me anyway. And then this one has the 2 pressure regulators. This one's for the main one, I guess, and then it runs over into the secondary for your pilot controls. So you have to adjust 2 if you wanted to adjust pressures. So this one I tested it was at 2,500 and I boosted it 28. So saw a little bit of difference, but not a whole lot. Speed wise, none, because it's all based on your pumps. I mean your motors underneath, your hydraulic motors. It's pretty good. So that's that. I'm going to review this, and once I get it back together and running, when I'm done goofing with it, and do a good review on it. See what you guys think. See what I think. Get feedback and maybe some more options to modify or suggestions or things to improve. So looking forward to that. Got a couple of other machines. This one I bought alongside that excavator, but I haven't touched it. It's a little mini skid steer. I haven't heard of this brand before. It's a NKL NMK60. It looks similar to the others. It's got the triangle tracks. Came with a 4-in-1 bucket, which was a nice add-on. I haven't seen a whole lot of those on these. Not to come with it anyway. So a good $1,500 add-on there, I think, from what I saw online. It's got standard controls, forward reverse, left right tracks, boom, up and down, curl, all that stuff, and then your auxiliary here. It's got a fuel gauge which wasn't working when I got it. It was stuck, so I took apart the sender inside here and cleaned it, and now it works. So we'll see how long that lasts. And oil temp, which I don't know how good that works or not. It's got this little cover over the ignition switch, keep water out of it. And horn and lights, 12 volt. Oddly enough, it didn't come with a choke. Well, it came with a choke, but on a car, but no cable. So I was looking around and I saw this little door here. So I was picking around in there, because it wouldn't start without choke. So I opened up the little door. God damn hair. Jeez. And you can reach the choke right here. So I got it to start that way, but that's annoying. So I went on the jungle and bought me a choke cable. It even says choke, so I don't forget. And put that on. It works great. But I'm not sure what this little door was for, if it's for that or just to get to the fuel filter. It's a hell of a fuel filter. And I don't know. It's an interesting little door. Keep the squirrels in. So I got that fixed. It's got that adjustable throttle everybody likes. It's the spin out one. It stops so you can press the button and pull it out. Seems to be alright. That's the plate. Tighten up the squirrel door. You guys can look at that. It'll come with a built-in hydraulic cooler. It looks like it's got some built-in leaves already. Lights and the same Rado engine, 13.5 Rado with the dual pump and the same tank everybody's got. I'll be reviewing this, trying it out shortly. It's on the list of things to do. And I got some accessories in here. For the TPM 16 excavator. There's a screening bucket and a tilting bucket in there. There's a big crate on the other side over there with all the other grapple and auger and trenching bucket and ripper and different size buckets, all that stuff. Then I got this machine. I got this one about a year and a half ago. This is a Mach Pro MPL 600. This is my favorite machine so far. It's 2020. Well, maybe I got it about a year ago. So it's a 2024 model, January 2024. So I must have bought it just after January. But anyway, it's about a year old. A little over a year old. Yeah, about a year and a half. Anyways, I bought it at a big auction place, and they listed it as having solid tires, which it doesn't have. So when I got there, I didn't notice till I got there that they were air-filled tires. So I went up and says, "You got this listed that it had solid tires on it," and I want it, but I'm not happy about the wrong listing, and they went ahead and adjusted the price for me. Took off the price of the tires pretty much. So that was nice of them. So if you ever go to the auction, make sure you inspect the equipment, because some of these bigger places they're not usually making concessions, but if you're a good customer and you ask nicely, they'll probably take a little off for you if it's not quite right. Because they have guys running around, just all day, every day, looking at equipment and putting numbers on it, but they don't, fine-tooth comb them. So, and I put this seat on because the other seat was lousy. So this is a suspension seat, and I need that because my old ass don't like bumps. This is a pretty nice seat. I think it was $400. But it rides nice, and it really takes the bouncing around from all the riding around on rough terrain with this four-wheel drive. So because it's constant four-wheel drive, so it does get a little rough. It's got a 25 Hertz Perkins in it, America diesel, which runs real good. I like Perkins motors. It's stoutly built. I moved a lot of dirt with it. I'll show you in a minute how much I've moved. But it's got, I think that's 3/4 steel there. Most of it's 3/4 steel. The whole frame is 3/4 steel. The center section is 3/8, but all the frame itself is 3/4, and the loader end is 3/4 and half or 5/8. It's strong. It's got the self-loaded leveling bucket on it. It has the ear hook type. I can't find attachments for it yet, but I'm looking because it's got the hydraulic release down there. Just flip this lever up there and you can drop the bucket. So I want more attachments for it, forks, and you can see I got these Timu jobbies on here, but if they're too far out, you don't get much payload capacity. But it's a nice machine. I really like it. It's got a temp gauge, on the other side is a fuel gauge, and then in the middle there's a fuel gauge and an hour meter. I don't know why you need 2 fuel gauges, but it's got lights, directionals, horn. It's road ready. I don't think I'd be taking it down the road, but your pilot controls with your forward and reverse switch here, so it's real easy to drive. And then these are your hydraulic accessory, and then your bucket release, attachment release. So things that are tore up on it is that disconnect quit, the one that came from the factory. So I got me one off the Jungle for now, but I got another one that I bought, a nice one, aluminum one, not made of plastic, that I'm going to swap out here when I get around to it. But round 2, it's hard to come by. We've got lots of square ones, but you know, it is what it is. And oh, that hydraulic hose tore up. I don't know if it was just got hung up in something, or if it just came apart because it came out of the crimp and was blowing hydraulic fluid all over the place. But so I had that, a local guy made that up for me. He had all the fittings and everything, so it wasn't a big deal just to get it done. I think it was $150 or something, because it runs all the way back. It's got Italian pumps in it and that Perkins diesel engine. That's my favorite so far. I'll give a proper review on it later, but it's yeah, it's a pretty good rig. It's a little man. It's a teenager anyway. It does a good job. So I had moved. Oh, I want to build a attachment for that skid steer out of this scrap here. Yeah. Land leveler. I just got to order a plate, an attachment plate, and then I'm going to weld up the rest of this into a land leveler to see how that works. So that's a project that's coming. And the shop will be coming soon. I just moved like all this soil here with this fill. With that little loader, all this was 3 to 4 feet down. See if I can get you a better angle of it in a minute, but there's a lot of dirt here. It was, I'll go over here. You can see it better. It's about 80 feet by 30 feet. Oh, about 50 feet. 80 by 50. And it was way down where this tree is, so 3-4 feet. And I moved all that soil with that little loader, and it did a hell of a job. But I got tree work to do. I gotta do some videos on tree work, drop some trees, limb some trees, get everything prepared, because I want to build a shop over here, 30 by 60 or something like that, so I can start working on my boat project, which is a whole nother thing we'll get into. Houseboat project, but we'll get into that later. So I'm hoping to do more videos, and I hope you guys enjoy what I've got so far and what I'm gonna do in the future. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' videos as well, sharing thoughts and ideas. I appreciate your video viewing and what you guys put out for content as well. How do the Chinese name their kids? Anybody? Anybody got an idea on how the Chinese name their kids? give you a second. Okay, well, the Chinese name their kids by throwing a walk down the stairs, and whatever noise it makes is what they're named. If it was Ping Pong Fing, that's their kid's name. If it's Tong Fing Fong, that's their name. I hope you guys like it. Kind of a silly joke, but anyways, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for your time, and take care. I'll be hollering at you.